Hi, and welcome to today's discussion. What I will be talking about is the power of project closure and the importance of lessons learned. And as any project manager will know, it's really key part of a project, but very underutilized in my opinion. I'll cover some of the benefits of project closure, and then I'll also go into some lessons learned and exactly what that is, and then how we apply those lessons learned in the best way, and then hopefully could give you a basic summary of what and how important project closure is. So, really, let's crack on with the benefits of an effective project closure. So, before I start, a quick definition is at the end of your project life cycle, whether it's in agile, critical path method, whatever method is, project closure is very important. That doesn't simply just mean, oh, let's pack up and move on. You need to close all your documents, make sure it's all nice and tidy, any outstanding actions to be resolved, risks and issues to be finalized and closed off, any financials, etc. However, the final stage is really actually a bit of a getting an understanding of what the benefits are around the project closure within your team. And one of those, and the benefits really that I see are it highlights the importance of completing and delivering project outputs for your stakeholders. So, you've got a, you finalize the project and say it's officially closed with your stakeholders, really, really important. And again, like I said earlier, emphasize you've got to make sure that you've closed all your documentation. You've got a nice baseline to conclude your project. You get a feel for your project. How well, how bad have you done? How have you managed your change? How you manage your budget? All those things are valuable information, which as a PM will be much more beneficial for you to help you progress in your career. Um, Also, one part of the benefits of closure is that you understand your collaboration, how well you did that, and understand the value of each team and how what role they play and how what benefit they brought to your team. Understand that in more detail because ultimately those lessons that you learn will eventually help you with other projects as well. And also, the final thing is, a proper closure helps our, a good client satisfaction. It's that good feeling saying, we've closed it, we've achieved X, Y, and Z, and make sure that we've actually achieved what we agreed to, which it does change, but within the agreed scope, etc. And you've managed that throughout. Then once you've done that project closure, which is all mainly documentation, financials, and aligning with your stakeholders, next bit is really having a session about lessons learned. Now, what is lessons learned? Lesson learned is actually it's what I've historically seen is a lot of people use it as a bit of a bitch fight, and it's not a bitch fight. What it is you are learning from each other, and this includes all of your team, not just your project team, not your stakeholders alone. The complete team is where I would say you bring them in. This is where you bring the team together and say, okay, guys, let's have a very positive, open conversation about things we could do better now. That is really, really, really important. Now, I've done this in many of my projects, and where it's been very, very successful and managed correctly, you get a lot of insight saying, oh, actually, if I'd known that before, I could have done this for you better. If you told me this, etc. There's a whole raft of things that will come out that you can make notes of. Now, one important about lessons learned is document what you find, the pros, cons, and as well as looking at, all the positives, you must look at the negatives, but in a positive light. All right, we could have done that better. We should, let's make sure that we learn from that, etc. And and bring that information forward to your next project or your team to say, actually, let's collaborate better. We could have done this better. We could have actually had less meetings. We could have done more formal documentation, which let us down. We didn't do any, pre-planning on our design, which causes some issues. All those things could come out of the woodwork, which then helps to move things forward. Next is really how do you apply these lessons learned? And the important thing is, I would, like I said, once you've done your lessons learned, is that you've understood and got a good feel of what those issues are. Then you need to look at applying those. Your next project, you go in saying, okay, well, actually, I could have managed my finance better. How would I have done it? Spend more time with finance, spend with the right team, saying, okay, what can I do? What should we do? Or I could have been better with my stakeholder. Go and speak to your stakeholder, whatever they've taught you, have better communication methods, go and talk to them, understand how better to communicate, etc. I should have had more documentation related to risk issues management, so that people were able to see what was going on. But that, it's really applying that. And again, I always use this continuous improvement to your projects. It's, the first time you do it, it's always going to be difficult. You're not going to get it right. You're always going to feel as if you haven't done it perfect. But there is no perfect solution. With time, you will learn. So, in summary, really, closure, I personally feel is underutilized and should always be done as part of your projects. Really spend time learning from your team and the people around you, what we could have done better, what you did good, and celebrate the successes as well as the failures. You can only learn from your failures. You're going to make yourself better, and failure shouldn't be seen as a negative thing. And then make sure you apply the lessons learned to your next project. I hope that's helpful and helps you move your projects forward. But again, I'm a great fan of project closure, and it's underutilized, but I hope that helps you move your projects in the right direction. Thank you for listening today.